Insurance telematics produce a new spatial data infrastructure that maps drivers' movements and behaviors. This enables personalized pricing and improved road safety, but also creates privacy and surveillance issues, along with new forms of exclusion and control. This video explores the data that telematic devices acquire and how this enables insurance companies to provide more accurate premiums for drivers, but then explores the trade-off consumers must undergo to attain this economic benefit, often through surrendering sensitive data. So what are telematics? Insurance telematic devices track how, when, and where a person drives. While in the past, automobile insurance companies could only use variables related to certain fixed characteristics of the insured, such as age, gender, length of time being qualified, and basic statistics about the car model, technological advances have seen the introduction of a GPS device in the vehicle, one that is capable of collecting more accurate data on the driver's behavior and patterns of driving. Now, variables such as acceleration, braking, nighttime travel, and even the specific routes taken are all collected, scored, and translated into financial consequences through the telematics device. This development represents a remarkable advance in how insurers allocate premiums to consumers based off conclusive driving habits. However, with this comes trade-offs. With increased datafication and subjectivity comes increased surveillance and privacy concerns. The telematic devices within cars produce detailed movement records, and while this enables insurance companies to assess the risk profiles of drivers, offering incentives and lower premiums for good drivers, and conversely higher premiums for unsafe ones, this transparency in data raises privacy concerns for policyholders, as it is seemingly easy to identify people based on their driving patterns, as well as daily routine. But it isn't just the insurance providers that have access to this data. Often a service provider is responsible for running the system and analyzing the data. And so while choosing a telematics tariff implies that an individual's data will be collected, the aggregation of this data by a third party allows them to draw conclusions that are very private and sensitive in nature. As such, how do consumers navigate this trade-off between lower insurance costs but reduced privacy? Hahn discovered that consumers are far more likely to adopt these insurances and subsequent unavoidable privacy concerns as long as they are equally compensated. Hahn found providers could do this in two ways. Firstly, by offering privacy policies regarding the handling and use of personal information, or through offering benefits such as monetary rewards or convenience. While in most cases, consumers favour monetary incentives, Hahn found that the incentive amount was still dependent on who is exploiting this privacy-sensitive data. And for some, such elevated privacy concerns cannot be compensated by service providers. So who is the main target audience then for such types of insurance? Buxbaum found that those most likely to adopt such policies were people comfortable with new technologies and less concerned about privacy, with Derricks finding similar results in that most consumers consider disclosing personal information as an integral part of modern life, necessary to obtain products and services. But not all policyholders experience telematics in the same way. For new and young drivers, telematics can provide a chance to demonstrate safe driving and obtain affordable insurance. In fact, on average, having a telematics device as a new or young driver in the UK reduces insurance costs by around £300 per year. Furthermore, the development of this type of insurance has progressed so much in recent years that for certain regions in Italy, young drivers can only obtain insurance if they choose a telematics tariff. With a fifth of all killed or seriously injured casualties from road collisions in the UK involving a young car driver, a telematics insurance could help hold young drivers accountable for their driving behaviours, which will likely reduce their risks of accidents to the advantage of themselves and society. Overall, telematics transforms driving into a form of data production and enables insurance costs to be more representative of a driver's ability. Insurance companies utilize this data to personalize pricing, reward safer driving, and reduce risks on the road. However, the same information that enables fairer premiums also produces detailed records of movement, behavior, and routine. These records can be accessed by insurers and third-party service providers, generating new concerns about privacy, surveillance, and the potential misuse of personal information. Consumers vary widely in how they navigate this tension. Some willingly exchange data for compensation or convenience, while others view the privacy loss as too significant to offset. And in places where telematics is becoming mandatory, the ability to opt out is steadily shrinking. To conclude, as telematics becomes more widely adopted, consumers must question the extent to which financial incentives outweigh their loss of privacy and surveillance that extends beyond the car.